Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. Jared here with a new review from Fanboys Forever. Today, boy oh boy, do we have something that's just pure fun, or at least we hope that's what it's going to be. It is the brand new Masters of the WWF, that's right, WWF Universe Rattlesnake Mountain Ring, Stone Cold Stomping Grounds. Now, if you're not familiar with this line, just real quick, it is basically a way for Mattel to incorporate their new Masters of the Universe Origins tooling into a WWE, or I say WWF, wrestling line. And it's not something that I'm a completist about, but I really do like a lot of their fun choices, particularly a lot of their vintage wrestling callbacks. Because, of course, that's the era that I kind of prefer, and it's when I was most aware of what was going on with it. Let's go ahead and just talk about what this is. From what I understand, I think Walmart is the only way you can get this, at least right now, but I don't know if that's an exclusive thing or what. This is basically just a little wrestling ring playset. And ever since they announced this, I've been really excited about it because not only is it a cool kind of reversioning of their Grayskull ring that's made to look like Snake Mountain instead, but it also includes some really cool figures. We actually get a Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we get a Hulk Hogan. And it's hilarious what they've done with them. You have Stone Cold over here, and according to the packaging, it says that Stone Cold Steve Austin is an unpredictable bionic redneck. I don't know, that's just hilarious to me. You can see he's kind of kitted out to look like a snake man, perhaps. Then we have Hulk Hogan rocking a very familiar look. It's Hulk Hogan, Immortal Herald of Hulkamania. So, I mean, it doesn't get much funnier than that. Just the pure comedy of this, the pure joy and silliness of the thing, this was an instant pickup for me. So let's go ahead and let's check out this box art. We have some insane artwork right there. Then we have the same, that artwork is just kind of repeated around. And on the back, we get a better look at that art. And we do have a very funny little bio type of thing on the back. Scale to the top of Rattlesnake Mountain, step through the lava ropes, and stomp a mud hole in any WWEternia superstar who thinks they've got what it takes. You better have 24-inch pythons, brother, because only the strong survive. So you get kind of just a clear shot of that insane, like, cartoon artwork. And I'm telling you, this is nutty. And over here we just have some of the features listed. So you know what? How about I stop talking? Let's get this out of the box and let's see what we get. I think it's always a good idea to show you what you actually get out of the box. So to give you an idea of what kind of assembly that you're going to have to do, it comes with this, just the wrestling base itself. There's no decal in the middle, so it comes with this. And mine's actually slightly damaged up there, but it's nothing too major. You get instructions. You get a bundle of pieces, like all the ropes and snakes and things that you have to put in. You get your 2 included figures. Here we have fully assembled a ringside view of the Rattlesnake Mountain Wrestling Ring. Now, I really think that the theming of this one is a little bit stronger than what we saw with the Grayskull ring. Particularly, I really think that the purple color for the base really sets things off, and it really does put me in the mind of that original Snake Mountain kind of color scheme. I also really like the cool little steps. It's almost like a drawbridge that leads up. And I really like the sticker in the middle. It almost has some of that flair of like the old school Masters products. But I'll tell you what really sells it for me are these funny like snake monoliths on each corner of the ring. And to me, these almost look like something that would be like an 80s toy. You can see that they're done in just, one cast in one shade of green plastic. And it really does look something like that would actually be vintage. And so I think that really sells the Snake Mountain ring as something that's not just a regular, just like wrestling product. Like I said, I was also complimenting the sticker that we see on the ring, and mine was slightly damaged, but it's very unnoticeable and something I could probably easily fix. You also get these lava kind of colored rubbery little bands for the ring, which are really good, and you just stretch them and put them into each one of these little holders. It's really a simple process, and these things are really elastic, and I think they're going to be really fun when you start launching figures off of it. You can even use these foot pegs up here, which one of mine was really, really, really stressed, which means it's kind of white, but I suppose that you could use these foot pegs as long as yours is in okay shape. So you can use the foot pegs on the tops of these to kind of get them into like slam positions. So I think that's a really cool feature as well. And the cool little drawbridge thingy that I was showing earlier. Here it is a little bit closer. You can see there's all sorts of great little detail and some chains and things. Other side, there's not really much going on. But you can actually take this, and it just has a little, like a couple little tabs. You can put it on any part of the ring. So say, for instance, if I wanted to put it on the side, you totally could. So you kind of just decide for yourself, since it's a square, where you want the sticker to be oriented and where you want the entrance to be. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to put mine in the front right there. There's also some pegs on that little drawbridge looking thing. So that's also cool that you have that option. So let's go on ahead and let's look at some of the figures in this thing. It's funny because the two figures that it includes represents both eras of my childhood when professional wrestling was going on. You have when I was really young, 5 or 6 or so, 4, 5, 6. Hulk Hogan here was the king, undisputed, of WWF wrestling, and everybody knew it, and it was just kind of a fact of life. You saw him everywhere. He had his own cartoon. There was everything in the world was going on for Hulk Hogan at that time. So that's definitely the early part of my life is what that represents. And then by the time I was in 5th grade, unabashedly the most popular wrestler, and with all my friends, everybody at school was Stone Cold Steve Austin. You get both, true representatives of this era in wrestling. You begin the 90s with Hulk Hogan, and you end it with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and of course The Rock, which you can look to the previous set if you want to see that represented. So it's really cool to have these guys, and I really thought it was a really novel pairing. Let's first talk about old Stone Cold Steve Austin right here. First though, let's have him be the heel right here. Hey, guess what? What? No! Look at that. Okay, so first round goes to Stone Cold. Really surprised by the really cool likeness that they have for Stone Cold here. I actually think that it looks quite a bit like the guy. And I really like, I hope you guys are seeing this, the cool red and yellow like snake eyes that they gave him. No, not that snake eyes. But seriously though, it's great because it makes Stone Cold essentially a snake man in Masters of the Universe continuity. So I think that's awesome. Check out the cool decals they have going with the snakes. It says Austin right here. And these are just neat tampographic details. On the back, we actually get the RattleSnake head. It just says RattleSnake right there. If you wanted to, all of this vest and all that's totally removable. Easiest way to do it is you would just actually pop the arms out and take the vest off that way. So if you want him without his doodads on, I suppose you could do that, and it wouldn't be very difficult at all. Well, the great thing about Masters of the Universe Origins figures and the WWEternia figures is that all the parts are switchable, even going so far as to have them be removable at the waist. So you could actually, totally change out torsos if you wanted to, and change out arms and the heads. So I think that's terrific. But yeah, there's just a lot of options for customization. You can see that the snake motif with the scales continue down to the trunks. And then we have some knee pads, which are just kind of floating rubber pieces. You have his lace-up wrestling boots. And once again, here's the back of the figure. Now, the arms are completely normal under here, as you can see, but what's the point of showing you that because you've seen it a million times before? Instead, check these things out. These look like Rattler's head from Masters of the Universe, and I just think these are awesome. They just go over each wrist. You can see where they just fit over it, and it's kind of hard to fit them over them, actually, but you can actually open these jaws and get some wild stuff right here. So if you want to chomp down on Hulk or anything with these, you totally can. And here's the other fun part. If I want to, it's no problem because of all the shared tooling and sculpting. If I wanted to give Skeletor these as an accessory, maybe when he joins up with the Snake Men in the old 80s, late 80s part of the continuity, there you go. It looks right at home. Certainly looks like Dragon Blaster Skeletor in a way, because you kind of have a red dragon companion. Look at that. I mean, it looks terrific. So that's one of the great advantages of buying these WWEternia figures. And if you're more of a Masters fan, like I am, of course I still love and respect professional wrestling, and I get a big kick out of it still. But you can get these for the accessories, and these are incredible accessories for any of your snake people whenever they get around to releasing those, any of the snake men, or also, just for Skeletor or any of the evil warriors. You could even maybe use these somehow with Tila. What? Oh, look at that. Okay. Round 2. I believe we'll give that one to Hulk here. This one is the one, and I love the Stone Cold figure. I really do, because the likeness is really strong. But this is the one that I think sold the set to me. I saw this, and I was like, what on earth? Because this is not only a hilarious idea for Hulk Hogan, but it is one of the most unabashed, like, complete, like, you know exactly what it is if you're a Masters of the Universe fan when you see this armor. I mean, there's not much left of the imagination. Not much has been done to disguise it or hide what it is. This is the Flying Fists He-Man armor, and clearly we're going to get that figure, because here's all the tooling for it. But you know exactly what this is supposed to be, as any Masters fan would. But here's the wild part. They have added this crazy helmet, which is not something that you would see. Have the Masters Universe Classics version. You see what I'm saying about the armor? I mean, it's the most obvious thing that you can imagine. I mean, there's nothing has been done to really hide this. And as a matter of fact, aren't these, and I know that the back is different, I actually think these might be like the same sculpting almost. I think they're very, very, very close. But I mean, I guess there's only so much you can do with this design, but it is funny to see just how close that the thing really gets. As for weapons, you get the Atomic Battle Axe, I think they called it on the back of the packaging, but that's all you get. He doesn't hold it particularly well at the bottom, but as long as you get that kind of raised portion within his hands right there, he'll hold it really well. Just don't try to hold it from this bottom part, because it'll fall right out. So that looks really cool. And then he also comes with this really cool helmet, which is something that isn't present in the original design. And I think it's interesting because it has, you know, the kind of, it kind of has the right motif for, I think, what they're going for. This is where the paint gets a little sloppy on my sample up here, but it's really nothing too bad. You can see there's some other little paint imperfections, like there's a little bit of dark, I think, around this H right here, which should stand for He-Man, but in this case, it stands for Hulk Hogan. Check this out. This is a really strong Hulk Hogan head sculpt. I think it's pretty recognizable who he is. They definitely got his receding hairline right for that time. The paint is surprisingly clean on the head, surprisingly clean on the teeth and the eyes. I actually expected it to be a little more off the mark for this type of figure, but you know what? It actually looks pretty decent. He does have just, you know, your regular trunks right there. And let's say that you want this to just be standard, you just want this to be standard Hulk Hogan, you can totally do that. As a matter of fact, once you remove this, I'll tell you something, it's kind of funny, now that I'm unhooking this armor, these are even the same kind of like armor hookup tabs that are on the Masters of the Universe Classics version. You see that? How on the side there's these tabs that are exactly the same as these. So, I don't know, I think it's looking more and more likely. And look, the cutoff's even the same, where the top of the belt is at the bottom of the tab. This is looking like almost a flat-out reuse. As a matter of fact, let's just put this to the test, just real quick. And wouldn't you know, holy moly, would you look at that. I guess this will be like a powered-up version. This is so funny to me. Okay, clearly this is the same piece. All right, guys, so yeah, Masters Universe Classics fans out there, you want to Hulk Hogan your He-Man up a little bit? Buy this figure. You can totally, you can get this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that worked. Okay, all right. Unfortunately, the hat doesn't work quite as well, because wouldn't that be hilarious? You just kind of set it on there. So like I said, though, it's like they've made a conscious effort to where you can take all that stuff off and have a completely traditional, like completely traditional 80s Hulk Hogan action figure done in Masters of the Universe style. So that's actually terrific. And I think that's incredible. And if you're wondering, yes, the skin tones don't match really at all. But here you go. This is a look at probably about what we're going to see. Just imagine that, you know, this is the right color. And it's going to be very similar to this when we get this He-Man later in the line. Or perhaps this was the swap you wanted to see right here. Hulk does not have He-Man's orange tan. But, you know, hey. If you want to know about articulation, just really quick, you know, we've seen articulation in this line. I think most people are familiar, but just so you know, head can turn up and down, kind of has a tilt to it, plenty of range right there. Arms go all the way around. Of course, they can go out to a pretty good amount to get about a 90-degree angle right there. We do get a single jointed elbow, but it does swivel. We also get a hinge at the wrist. You can turn the wrist. You can go around 360 at the waist. There's nothing in the abdomen of the figure. We do get some ball joints down here with just some hinges so you can do the splits about like that. Leg can go up about that far, so not too much. You do get a single joint, but it's kind of hampered by the knee pads on both figures. Of course, I'm pretty sure you could remove those. We do get a cut right there at the boot. Then down here, we get a hinge, and we get a nice ankle rocker. It's funny how these have nicer ankle rockers and hinges than the Masters of the Universe Classics figures did. It's funny because they didn't really have ankle rocker, those original figures. Sorry, guys. The ghost of JB and Vince McMahon himself have called me to let me know that it is actually required that I let this match play out. So far, there is no answer, and they will be watching closely. So I'm sorry. I'll return you to the match. Hulkamania! Somebody grab me a root beer float so that I can spit it in his face. Because Stone Cold said, "Oh, go! That's it. Come here, you." Uh-oh. It looks like Hulk's down for the count. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Get over here, brother. You may have won today, but WWEternia has not heard the last of me. I'll have this whole continent put into a stunner before I'm... Thanks for the assist, brother. Stone Cold, when you go to see Skeletor, you tell him that the Macho Mania and the Hulkamania combine, and we unlock the powers of Grayskull. Sorry, friend, did I miss anything? Oh, He-Man, you missed it all, brother. Meanwhile, in the locker room. Please, Lord Skeletor, you've got to understand. The Macho Madness and the Hulkamania were too much combined.
You bungling fool! If you cannot kill the Macho Man Randy Savage or the Hulkamania He-Man Hulk Hogan, then how can I trust you to help me take over all of WWEternia? I thought you said you were a snake man, not a bionic rattlesnake redneck.
I'm sorry, Lord Skeletor. Next time,
There won't be a next time, you fool. Hand me one of those root beers from that six-pack.
What do you mean?
No more chances for you. But there is another. Well, gee, Skeletor, I'll sure try my best.
Well, guys, I surely do thank everyone for taking the time to watch our little review today. Of course, we would love it if you could possibly subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of the new videos and reviews that we have coming up. Let me know, of course, in the comments down below if this is something you want to see more of. And let me know down below which figure you thought was best out of this set, Hulk Hogan. In the end, do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I think this set's worth it. I think it's pretty nice. For the price, I think you get plenty of value here. You get a playset, and you get two figures, which on their own would sell for about $15 a piece. So I definitely think that the value is here. So what are some nitpicks that I have? Like I said, it would have been nice if there wasn't a little scratch in the sticker that I got. So that's one little thing. Other than that, I think things are all right. The actual floor of the ring might be a little plain. I think it would have been cool if there were some cracks or something in it to kind of sell it more as like a stone kind of thing. It would have been cool if the snake's eyes were painted and the teeth were painted. I know that's something that we could do pretty easily ourselves, but still it would have been nice. Also, the actual stonework at the bottom of the base. I think it would have been cool if there was like a wash in that, but as it is, it's fairly plain. But I do think that for what it is, you're essentially paying for a reversioning of the Castle Grayskull ring. And of course, these two cool exclusive figures. I think any wrestling fan from a lot of different eras would enjoy this set. And dads out there, I think that this is a great way for you to introduce some of that old wrestling lore. I just wonder where they could go next. So give me your ideas down below. Think they should do like a Eternia ring? Maybe it would actually have like, you know, the tower heads on the four ring posts. That would be neat. Could they have gone further? Of course they could have. But I think for the price point and the type of line that this is, if you see one, I suggest you grab one. Of course, this can be had on Walmart.com. Guys, we're thankful that you decided to watch our video today, and we're appreciative of all of our viewers. So God bless each and every one of you and your families. Stay safe through this season. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you can. And we'll see you on Fanboys Forever. You guys take care. God bless. Bye.
You tell him that the Macho Mania and the Hulkamania combine, and we unlock the powers of Grayskull.